Say, oh, okay, cool.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Whoa! Happy Easter!
Happy Easter!
Happy Resurrection Day. Welcome to the Course in Miracles. Those of you on Facebook Live, I want to welcome you to the Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Purdy, and we're glad to have you online from all over the world, as well as the people in here. We're going to talk about something very interesting today. We're going to talk about the illusion and the reality of love. We're going to talk about the illusion of love and the reality of love. The illusion, the false idea of love, and the reality of love from A Course in Miracles. So I want to say that at the very beginning so that people know what we're going to be focusing in on, because this should be a time of the resurrection of love, the resurrection of reality, the resurrection of what's real, the resurrection of what's true. Because the Course in Miracles, that says that that's what's been submerged by the things that we've learned. Is the truth has been submerged, and the truth is love. And the Course in Miracles is saying that there are only two things we experience, and even though we call it by many different things, we either experience in some form of love or we experience in some form of fear. And if it's love, we call it happiness, peace, joy, health, abundance, having a good time, and in my case, partying like a big dog. That's what the love aspect of it is, and the fear aspect of it is just that: anger, guilt, grievances, attack, sickness. All of these things, according to the Course in Miracles, are a reflection of some aspect of fear. So we're just talking about love or fear. So don't let the terminology of the Course in Miracles fool you. That's what we're talking about. I always ask Spirit to choose the section I'm going to talk about before I get in here, because I've read the Course in Miracles and been studying it and teaching it for over 30 years. So I'm slightly familiar with it. So I'm pretty good at hearing spontaneous passages to go to and do them. So that was the one I was told. What the people are coming today, the people are going to be sent today. What is it that we need to hear? So think about that. I asked that question before you came. Okay, you know, what is it that we need to hear? And by the way, it's no accident that you hear, even if someone drug you against your will and to threaten you by your life. That's okay. That's all right. That's fine. The only guidelines to the Course in Miracles, if you're here for the first time, is you need not believe it. And most of the people who study it will tell you that that's true. You need not accept it. You need not welcome it. You need not believe it. You need not accept the Course in Miracles. You need not welcome the Course in Miracles. Some of the ideas that you hear are going to be startling. Maybe some of it's going to be hard to believe. If you use it, you'll see that it works. So I'm not saying that I expect everybody in here to agree with everything that I say the way that it's coming through me. If I believe that, I don't even need to be in front of the class talking. Plus, that would mean I'm not very conscious being, because any being that's even slightly conscious knows that everybody's not going to agree with the way that they're saying things and the way that they see things. So I don't even have that expectation. But hopefully, you will hear something that will have meaning to you. So I hope I startle you. I hope you say, what the hell? I don't believe that. Oh, man, I want you to have reactions, because that means you might be hearing something that's different from the way that you look at things. So I don't have a problem with people not agreeing with this or not liking it or resisting it. I don't have a problem with that. I've already been told that that's going to be part of it. But for some reason, Spirit is telling me right now to say really quickly the introduction from the Course in Miracles. And the introduction from the Course in Miracles says this. I love to get a chance to hear this stuff and hear something other than what I hear everywhere. Introduction. This is a Course in Miracles. It's a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will doesn't mean that you can establish the curriculums. Free will doesn't mean you can establish the curriculum. Having free will doesn't mean you can establish the curriculum. Free will doesn't mean you can establish the curriculum. We're here to learn how to remove the blocks to love. The Course in Miracles says what free will does mean is only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. So free will means you can just choose how much of this you want to do. But free will doesn't mean that you can establish the curriculum. But free will does mean you can do as much of this as you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. For instance, if you wanted to go to college to be a lawyer, You don't tell them the curriculum you're going to take to be a lawyer. They tell you the curriculum you're going to take to be a lawyer. And the only thing you have any choice about is, do I do it in the daytime? Do I do it at night? How many hours am I going to take? Do I do it on Saturdays? Your free will is about how you're going to do the curriculum, how much of the curriculum you're willing to learn. Is everybody with me on that? Free will does not mean that everything you want to happen is going to happen because you have free will. You can have all the free will in the world, but and you can decide there's no such thing as gravity. But if you jump off this building, you're not going to fall up. So your free will doesn't change universal law. Your free will doesn't change what's real. Thank God. Could you imagine how chaotic our reality would be if everything shifted according to your change of mood, thought, and belief? We'd be messed up. We need to be glad there's some stuff that you cannot affect. What the Course in Miracles says you cannot affect is how unconditionally loved you are.
Yes.
Okay, I said it again. That which created us loves us unconditionally. And there's nothing you can do about that. It's inevitable that, first of all, you didn't create yourself. You might have created the mess you might be dealing with, but you didn't create yourself, right? And you can't change that. I don't care how my kid feels about himself. That's not going to necessarily change the way I feel about my kids. So the way you feel about yourself doesn't have any effect on that which created you and that which loves you. But if you don't love yourself, it keeps you from having a good day. Yeah, you won't be feeling that good, okay? And if you know there's another way to look at it and it could change your way of feeling about yourself and you don't use that other way of looking at it, what does that mean? It means that there's some payoff I'm getting in being miserable and I'm not ready to give it up yet. Is it possible that every problem you think you have has already been answered, but you removed yourself from the answer? Is it possible that there's a solution for everything that's bothering you right now, but you have removed yourself from the solution? Of course it is. So the Course in Miracles is saying this course doesn't aim at teaching the meaning of love because that's beyond what can be taught. The Course in Miracles does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. So the purpose of the Course in Miracles is to remove the blocks to your awareness that you're loved and that you are the presence of love. There are blocks to me realizing that. The purpose of the Course in Miracles is as a curriculum that gets rid of the blocks to me knowing I'm whole and complete and loved. There's a curriculum for me to learn that. I have free will to choose how much of the curriculum I want to learn, but I cannot control this curriculum. Course in Miracles is not the only path to truth. The Course in Miracles is not the only way. You know, it's the way for some people. It's not the way for everybody. How do you know it's the way for you? You won't want to do it. And you will do it in spite of your resistance. Okay, your resistance won't stop you as soon as it comes up if it's your true spiritual path. So always remember that nothing is difficult that's wholly desired. So if you completely desire something, it's not really hard to do it. If I desire to study this, it's not hard for me to study it. It's hard for me to study it if I don't want to. That's true about everything. This book is so simple, the principles are so simple that it will drive those of us who need complexity out of our minds. Okay, the Course in Miracles teaches that the truth is simple. Complexity is of the fear-based mind, and complexity is just a smokescreen to hide the simplicity of everything, because when you're not ready to do something, you'll make it seem like it's complicated. But that's just, he said, well, that's basically you don't wholly desire it yet. And so you're going to see it as being complicated. Love isn't complicated. Relationships are not really complicated. It's just that you have a bunch of scripts with everybody around you, and if they don't act them out, then you go off or get upset or feel separate. So most pain is coming from people not acting out my script. They're not doing what I want them to do the way that I want them to do it. That's why I'm mad. Okay, so that's not complicated either. You're not acting the way I want you to. I'm upset. My boss, the world, the political situation, my body, it's just things aren't going the way I think they should, so I'm upset. So really the person or the situation, they haven't done anything to you. I'm not hurting you and doing anything to you just because I won't let you control me. I'm not going to apologize for not letting you control me. I'm not here to act out your script. I'm here to recognize what love is and be an extension of love. I'm not here to act out your fantasies. If you were to really get in touch with who you really are, you feel so whole and complete, you wouldn't need anybody to act out your fantasies because you feel cool. You cooled out. You chilled out. You know, and as soon as you don't need anybody to act out your fantasies, it looks like all your fantasies start getting acted out.
Yep.
It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. The minute it doesn't matter, the minute I'm not attached to the outcome, then it seems to happen. Let me give you a quick story. And this is a real miracle. I know, this is the real deal. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of that's right. I'm going to give you an example of a real miracle that happened to me. Now, some of you that was here last week heard me say that I had a freak situation happen and I damaged the front of my car and pulled the bumper off and a whole bunch of stuff, right? And so I took responsibility for how I felt about that, right? Because that's under my control. But I felt my feelings and I didn't try to be positive and act like it didn't bother me. It did. I made it bother me, right? And so I know that in the end, the Course in Miracles says I can't make an error that can be corrected if it's looked at correctly. So I went this week to get some estimates about how much it would cost to repair my vehicle. And I got around $1,000, $1,100, $1,200. And then I'm like, wow. So I went to the car and I sat down and I went, okay, I want another way to look at this. I want Spirit to guide me in this situation, this circumstance. And I had this urge to check three more shops I was going to look at. All of a sudden, I was looking down on the page, and I had just been doing a lot of talks in the Course in Miracles and on my Facebook Live classes about the body and what the correct purpose of the body is, which is a means of communication joining minds and hearts. Okay, so in the name of the shop just leaped out. It was just very simply the body shop. So I went, okay. So I got a hit. I'm going to go to the body shop, right? And everywhere else, they wanted to give me like 2-3 days. They're going to have my car. And just some places, I had to schedule an estimate next week just to come in for them to do the estimate of my car. And then I realized I was attached to my car because it was a newer car that I had gotten, It was my old car. I wouldn't have cared if it was tore up, you know what I'm saying? Because, I wasn't attached. So, of course, nothing was happening to it, Okay. So it's like, the truth is so true. I mean, you see it every day. And so anyway, I went down to the body shop, drove up into the body shop, and just immediately as I came in, they came out and immediately looked at the car. And then the first thing the lady told me before she looked at the car, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's very rare you come to a body shop and something's not going to cost you several $100s. So I'm just going to be straight up with you right now. That's what usually happens. And anybody that knows about body work, they know that's very true. So I met her energy was so wonderful and bright and cheerful, And so she came out, and then all of a sudden I saw her driving my car immediately back into the shop. And then I sat there about an hour, and she drove it back out. The car had been completely repaired. Oh. And she charged me the grand total of $30. So my car was repaired for $30 at a body shop. Now, the thing that was interesting about that was it happened after I took 100% responsibility, decided I was going to have peace no matter what happened, did not let how it was going to turn out affect what I was going to think or feel. So the minute I released it, because in a way I was already going, okay, it's going to cost me this much if I decide to do it, I released it. I gave myself peace about it. And then that gave Spirit a chance to take over, because Spirit takes over when I release. When I give it up, when it's not me trying to handle everything on my own. The Course in Miracles says the only thing that's never been solved, the only problem in your life that's never been solved is the one you've tried to. So if you're wondering what the problem is, or whatever situation you're going through, then the Course says it's because you're still trying to handle it. You're still trying to do it on your own. And that's why you still have the issue. It's like coming to this class trying to get more information so that you can handle it by yourself. And it's like, that's not my purpose here. When you use any of the suggestions that the Course in Miracles is asking you to use, that's your symbolic gesture that shows you willing to have your higher power and Spirit take over. Those are the things you're doing to symbolically show you willing to release it. How do you know when you have not released it according to the Course? Says, well, you know when you have not released it because you're still feeling some lack of peace about it, some conflict about it, and some fear about it. So whatever the area is that I'm still experiencing some conflict, lack of fear, that's the area I'm still trying to handle on my own. But I'm not going to beat myself up about that because the Course teaches that I am loved by something that loves me unconditionally no matter what I do or no matter what I say. You know. So I just want to let you know that, oh, here's another genuine miracle. Now, that was a miracle, right?
Yes.
For body shop. That's at a real practical level, right?
I love hearing that.
Right. So I'm living in Colorado, and I have the Spirit has been doing this so well that I've been living in my apartment for the last 2 years, right, in a really great location in Colorado without a lease or anything. Okay? And so all of a sudden Friday, I saw a little message pop up, Earl Purdy, your renewal letter. So I went, okay, here we go. Because I already looked in the rentals, and the average one-bedroom apartment in the part of town I'm in is $1,300, $1,400 to $1,500. Easily. Anybody familiar with Colorado rents?
Yes.
Okay. And what's happening with Colorado rent? Okay.
Crazy.
So I did the same thing. I said, well, okay, I haven't opened it yet, so that means there could be any possibility for what I will see. Okay? So I knew before I opened it, I was supposed to take a moment, focus in on the truth, and definitely pray. So I took a moment and said, Holy Spirit, I give this to you completely, totally. I'm responsible for what I see in this. I choose the feelings I have about this. You know, I'm the one that's going to choose the goal of how I'm going to experience this, and everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for, and I receive as I have asked. So I decided whatever it was what I'm asking for, because my beliefs, my consciousness, my spirit creates my reality.
That's right.
I take 100% responsibility for my experience of my experience. That's what I learned. So I took a breath, and then I opened it up, and I read it, and they raised my rent. $24. So my rent went up $24 for a 12-month lease. All right, okay, come on. So forget parting the Red Sea. Forget walking on water. $24 rent increase in Colorado, that's a miracle. That's right, $30 body shop, that's a miracle. That's right. My ex-wife willing to have lunch with me when I go to Memphis next month to heal our relationship. That's a miracle. Yes. All things are possible with God. You understand what I'm saying? Those of you online. So that's why I'm a Course in Miracles addict. That's why I've been doing it over 38 years. That's why I've been doing it full time for 30 years, because every time I've ever practiced what it said with any level of consistency, I've always gotten the result. That's why whenever I hear someone saying that it doesn't work, you haven't worked it. You think you're working it, but you haven't worked it. You're thinking about working it, but you haven't worked it. So you're not so special that the laws of the universe won't work for you. Okay? Some people, they're so special they think the laws of the universe, and I felt that way. When have I felt that way? Every time I'm upset. Then I think I'm outside the laws of the universe. So the section I'm going to be covering is a section called The Illusion and the Reality of Love. Is on page 337 in chapter 16, section 4. For those of you online and those of you in the room. Don't forget, those of you online, you can make comments, you can talk to each other. It's a very cool experience that we can have. I'm so happy that you all are here today. I know you could be other places, and it's a nice sunny day, and you could be doing something else. And so the fact that you honored me with your presence today means a lot. Those of you who are open-minded enough to come and listen to something that you don't have to believe, I think that that's awesome, and I'm glad about that. Gratitude is the order of the day. Gratitude is the order of the day. Every time I get ready to bitch and complain about something, I always say, okay, Purdy, what you need to feel grateful about right now? You need to be focusing on something to feel grateful about right now. And then if you do that, you'll find there's a lot for you to feel grateful about right now. You know, so much. Two people that were very, that I knew that were, you know, the grandchildren of my best friend. His daughter made her transition yesterday morning at 2 a.m. in a car accident with her husband, both of them. And she was only 20. And And he's a Course in Miracles student. We both taught it for many years. And I called him immediately, and I was asking him how he was feeling and how I could be supportive. And he said he was feeling two different ways. You know, he said one part of him could go into his right mind and realize that we're spiritual beings and that we're not our bodies, and that his daughter still is, a granddaughter still exists, and so does her partner, and feel the ecstasy of them being out of the physical world that we're in, which, by the way, isn't exactly, you know, the most easy experience that you can have, is being here. And then he says, then he goes through complete, you know, depression and grief and all the fears that come up around that. And I was glad to hear him say that he was willing to feel all of his feelings, you know. But we both were thanking God that we had another way to look at it than the way that the world would teach you to look at it. You know, I've often told people, even if there was nothing in the Course in Miracles that was true, that it wasn't really true that you're innocent and you create your reality and you're unconditionally loved and you're powerful, even if that was a bunch of crap, that still would make you feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
If there was nothing about that true, that still would make you feel better. You know, and I thought that made a whole lot of sense. You know, yeah. So think this stuff, even if it doesn't make any sense to you, it feels better than the stuff the world would tell you, right? And so what that did, it made me appreciate and have more gratitude for the people that are in my experience right now. And it makes me realize how much we can take for granted the people that are presently in our experience, because we are concerned about things that don't have any more importance of a moment's duration of crap.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, somebody stole my parking space. And I'm sad now. You know what I mean? If I could just lose it one more pound, then God knows I would be happy. You know, all the stuff we think about. And so I just want to tell you, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to be here. I feel like this isn't our first rodeo. I don't even believe people show up in my class unless they're old moldy souls that's been around a long time, whether they realize it or not. You don't hang out in classes like, you have to be a really advanced soul to be willing to hear that you're innocent, guiltless, and sinless. You have to be a real old soul to want to think about something greater than your own ego and your own self-gratification. So I want to acknowledge you for that. So the illusion and reality of love. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about someone that you know you need to forgive. If you see them in King Super, you go down the other aisle. I want you to think about someone that when you think about them, you don't feel the greatest amount of peace in the world. The Course in Miracles calls that sometimes a special hate relationship. Course in Miracles use very strong terminology.
Wow.
Right, special. You're so special. How? Because I hate you? Because I don't bother to hate people that's not special to me. Really. You know. And so the Course in Miracles says, I'm going to go through the paragraph real quick, and then we're going to see what was the point. It says, be not afraid to look upon the special hate relationship, for freedom lies in looking at it. So how do you have freedom? You look at the relationships that you have a lot of grievances in. You look at them. Then the Course said it would be impossible not to know the meaning of love except for your special hate relationships. For the special love relationship, which I love how it says, the special love relationship is a relationship in which the meaning of love is hidden. A special love relationship is a relationship that we hide the meaning of love in. That's interesting, isn't it, to put it that way? It's, in other words, you undertake a special relationship to offset the hate or the fear, but not to let it go. For instance, let me give you a quick example of that. Let's say I'm insecure and I don't really love myself like I should. Then I'm going to look for validation of my self-hatred or not loving myself in a relationship with somebody else.
Yep.
And so what I'm doing in the special relationship is I'm really undertaking it to offset what I feel about myself, hide what I feel about myself, but I'm not really letting it go. So your job as my special relationship partner is to hide the way I feel about myself. You're supposed to make me feel so good about myself and so valued that I forget that before I met you, I didn't like me a whole lot, and I wasn't really loving me like I should, and I had a lot of fear, anger, and guilt. So your job is to hide how I feel about myself from myself. So when I get in a relationship with you and I still end up getting upset and don't feel loved, then I feel disillusioned because you're not playing the role that you're supposed to be playing, which is to make me feel really valued and very good about myself. So I'm quitting leaving you and I'm going to find somebody else to validate.
Whoa.
Have a nice day. All right? He says, your salvation, which is your healing, which is your right-mindedness, will rise clearly before your open eyes. What kind of eyes? Open eyes as you look on this. You cannot limit hate. You cannot, and hate is just an extreme form of fear. There's only love and there's only fear. So the Course in Miracles says you cannot limit hate. The special love relationship will not offset your hate or your fear, but will do what? Drive it underground and out of sight. So all of a sudden, you still feel the same way you've always felt, but now you've hidden it from yourself through the special relationship that you formed that's supposed to offset it. I used to be in a relationship one time with a person that had a lot of challenges with jealousy. Right? So the way that I don't know why, I'm the kind of person I couldn't imagine I'd ever make anybody jealous.
Never.
Just because I try to love everybody. Okay, now, so with people always, in the ego goes, oh, that's you want to have sex with everybody. No, I said I want to be happy. That's you want to see what people, you want to talk about the crazy switch. Sex is the crazy switch.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see people be sane as they can be until body becomes involved if they're not looking at it correctly.
That's right. That's right.
Notice I said that they're not looking at it correctly, right? So love is beyond the body. Love can be expressed through the body, but love is beyond the body, and love is inclusive, not exclusive, and love is something that's given to all equally, which means we don't know what it is, right? We don't know what it is. What we call love is just specialness. What we call love is just specialness. I singled you out to give you all my attention to the exclusion of everybody else, and I say I love you. No, I don't love you. I've made you special.
That's right.
And that means it's limited to whether or not you act out my script. And if you don't act out my script, I'm withdrawing my specialness, and you're done.
Yeah.
And I'm going to find somebody else. So our love is not real love, is what the Course is saying. The way we do love is, I hate to admit it sometimes to myself, but I don't know how to love. But I know I have a block, right? So I just need to have the block removed. And then the love that I am will come shining through, just like opening up the blinds will let the sunlight through. It's already there, you just got it blocked with the blinds. Got it? And the Course in Miracles says the block is fear. The block is a sense of separation. So the Course in Miracles says the special relationship will not offset it, but will do what? Drive it underground. I can see that visual. Out of underground and what? Out of sight. So it's essential to bring your hate and fear and grievances into sight.
That's right.
And to make no attempt to hide it. And for it is your attempt to balance hate with love. If you do this for me, then I'll do this for you. That makes love meaningless. The Course in Miracles says what we call love is a bargain made with guilt.
Yep.
I'm going to do this for you if you do this for me, or if you're not doing what I want you to do, then I'm going to make you feel so guilty through my anger that you're going to finally succumb and do what I want you to do. I'll love you if you keep all the rules and agreements that we've made. Now, that's not saying that for you, you might not need rules and agreements. Hear me. While you're learning how to love, you may need rules and agreements and boundaries for you to feel safe enough to open your heart to let the love come through. Everybody with me on that? So when I talk about love, I'm not talking about a form. I'm not talking about monogamy. I'm not talking about polyamory. I'm not talking about an open relationship. I'm talking about love.
Right.
Now, out of the three, an open relationship, to me, is more of a reflection of love. By open, I mean I'm not trying to limit who you are, what you are, and the expression of what you feel like you need to do for you. So when I say open, it just means I don't have you locked up. Right? But people who are fearful and don't really know how to love yet, and they do get real angry and upset all the time, if the bargain isn't kept, then they usually form a relationship with somebody who watches them very closely, and they watch each other to make sure that the other one doesn't get out of the other one's sight or do anything that the other one doesn't want them to do. So you got two fearful people keeping each other off the streets for the good of everyone. So it's really great. It's really cool, right? It's really good. Like they watching each other, so they locked up, they can't do nothing. So that leaves us free ones to go ahead, and we can enjoy ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's great. Personally, I like the way jealousy feels. I feel like I had to make peace with that when it would come up. So I just thought I'd start accepting all of my feelings.
Yeah.
So even when my so-called jealousy come up, which is my call for love, then I just let myself revel in it. I let myself feel it to the point that I don't want to feel it anymore. If you feel something completely to its maximum degree, it will get you to the point that you go, ooh, I don't want to feel that anymore. But sometimes when you stuck, suppress, don't let yourself feel something, you'll hang out with it for a long time. But when you act as crazy as you can act, even you might go, this is a little bit too crazy even for me. So then you'll change your mind and want to do it differently. So don't forget what I said. If you need agreements and you need boundaries in order to feel safe, state that. Make that very clear. Discuss that with each other, knowing that any boundary is negotiable and renegotiable. So you may find at some point the thing that used to frighten you and make you feel upset or jealous isn't there anymore, and you can finally let them out the bathroom. You know, so wherever you got them chained up. I'm going to unchain the other foot today. I've grown. I'll take one of the handcuffs off, okay? You know. So sometimes when people hear me talk, they think I'm saying, what do you mean? You know, you got to have all kinds of boundaries and agreements. No, you don't.
That's right.
You don't have to have all kinds of boundaries and agreements. If I'm experiencing true love with you, I'm not going to want to do anything to hurt you anyway.
That's right.
If we loved each other, we wouldn't need any laws. We have all these laws because we don't know how to care for each other and share with each other and protect each other, help each other. The more afraid you are, the more rules you need.
That's right.
No, I don't need a law to tell me not to attack you in the alley. If I'm feeling my oneness and love for you, I don't need a bunch of rules. You need rules when you're afraid, when you're undisciplined, when you don't really know what the truth is. And if you're on that level of consciousness, you're going to attract other people on that level of consciousness because like attracts like. The most protected thing you can do is raise your consciousness, your vibration, the amount of love that's coming through you that's going to determine who's attracted to you. That's the easy way. That will protect you more than any army or any police department ever could, is your consciousness, your spirit. And you're in control of that. So now you got it in your hands. So the course, okay, so back to the story. So jealous, right, which was reflecting my own subconscious jealousy that I wasn't in touch with because she wouldn't have been with me if we were truly different.
That's right.
So she was making me aware of stuff that I had in me that I wasn't aware of, and I was making her aware of the same thing. But the thing that was interesting is that people want you to handle their jealousy or fear by you not doing the thing that makes them feel jealous, which they think somehow or another that's you showing love, and that's not. Because they still have that issue, you're just not bringing it up. So they're not healing at all. But people will go, well, just don't do the thing. Well, if I saw you dance with somebody else and that makes me jealous, well, the answer to that is don't you dance with anyone else. And then I won't be jealous. No, that's not the answer to it because you haven't dealt with that fear.
That's right. Just
That fear is still there. You're a piano that I'm not playing. So you listen to you're looking at a silent piano, it's only silent because you haven't pushed the keys. So if you're looking for people not to push your keys so that you will seem like you're a silent, peaceful piano, you're fooling yourself. And if you're really serious, you say, Holy Spirit, I'm willing to let go of everything that causes me pain and fear, then you might meet the person that plays a concerto on your butt. Okay, they will do a symphony on you. They'll have everything in you coming up for you to take a look at so you can move really fast.
That's right.
And some of us don't realize when we're with our symphony conductors. Right? You know, so when you say you want to know what love is, that means you have to be willing to know what love isn't.
That's right.
That's how you get to it. So you have to first make the agreement that you want to use your relationship for love, realize that everything unlike love is going to come up in the relationship to be purified and to be released. You know, May 12th, CJ and I are going to be doing a workshop together called Share the Love. It's going to be very, very powerful, very powerful. It's not going to be for the faint of heart.
Amen.
Okay? It's going to be for people who are really willing to look at that whole issue. And it's going to be covering a host of things. So it's not just about romance. It's going to be very, very powerful. And we'll be giving you more details about that also. So I want you to say to yourself, I'm willing to let go of the block rather than I'm going to try to avoid everything that pushes my button. Okay? The Course in Miracles says the extent of the split between how we try to balance love with fear, he says, that lies in this, you do not realize, and until you do, the split will remain unrecognized and therefore unhealed. So something being unhealed would be something being unrecognized. Until something is recognized, it cannot truly be healed. That's why I love that all the racial issues are coming up all around us.
Right.
We're seeing insanity coming up every way you can imagine. Separation, racism, attack, everything that we dread is coming up for us to what? Do just what it's saying here. Looking at it. So that we can make other choices and look at it another way. And that's what's going to happen in relationships also. So don't be afraid to look at your fear. Don't be afraid to look at your hate. Don't act like you like somebody when you don't. Tell yourself the truth about how you're feeling. Don't form relationships just to hide how you feel about yourself from yourself. And don't get disillusioned with people when they don't hide how you feel about yourself from yourself. It's essential to bring it. Don't attempt to hide it, right? And stop trying to balance, well, I don't really like you, but you did do this over here. I'm going to balance my love with my fear of you. I'm going to balance my love with my hate of you. All right. So before I go into the next paragraph, that was the first paragraph. Before I go into the next paragraph, any questions, any comments, any ahas? You got something, CJ?
Well, great conversation going on online around this. And Stella says, two major comments here. Stella says, I think I've got the entire string section in the symphony conductor section. All the more reason to be grateful. And then Erica says, yes, we have to recognize our problem so that they can be solved. Loss of peace means we have created a problem.
That's right. It means there's another way to look at it. There's an answer that's available to me that I might not be taking a look at. There are no original problems. So don't think you have a problem that hasn't already been solved. You're not that special. It's like, it's not that your stuff is so intense that even the creator is going, oh, Earl, I can't handle that. Think about that. We think the part of us that think we could never be. There's 7 billion people on the planet, but nobody could love me. That's too friggin' special. Yeah. That's what that is. That's just super duper specialness. Yes.
So I would love to hear more about your experience of you liking the feeling of jealousy, because I notice for me sometimes when I'm wanting to feel the full ride of my feelings, of my uncomfortable feeling, that I feel really scared of taking that ride, because I am aware of the law of attraction and I am aware that my vibration matters to my experience. And so, and also really, I want to be really real with myself, but I'm afraid of attracting more of that emotion if I am in it fully.
Right.
And so can you please speak to that?
Well, I can speak to it from the standpoint that when I say I love my feelings of jealousy, what I mean by that is I'm going to have non-judgmental acceptance of all my feelings. Okay, I'm not going to try to pretend that I don't feel what I feel. And also, I would have to be a very conscious being to say I'm going to take a look at my jealousy and not judge it and not beat myself up about it. So I wouldn't be afraid. I wouldn't worry about the vibration that I'm giving out, because the vibration that I'm giving out is from the perspective of a being trying to be conscious, trying to let go of the issue that they're dealing with. So I would attract other beings who are also being conscious and trying to let go of the issues that they're dealing with. So don't just separate out the jealousy.
Sure.
Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's why you are letting yourself feel the jealousy. And the reason why it keeps coming up is that you haven't let yourself fully feel it yet. And to let yourself fully feel it with people who you already know that you told them that I am also letting that go. Because you want to be in a relationship with someone that you all both want to let go of your blocks together, right? So you set up the perimeter when you're sane. So then you go, okay, we're having a good day. Look like our scripts are being acted out. I love you. Okay. Then you sit down and then you say, this is the way we're going to be. This is the way we want to handle situations when they come up between us. So like a fire drill, how you go through it over and over again so that hopefully when the fire happens, you'll know where to go. That's what people should do when they're sane in their relationships. When they're in that period of sanity, that would be the perfect time for them to talk about how they're going to handle the inevitable insanity that's going to come up from time to time. And that helps if they got a mutual curriculum that they're both in agreement with that they're going to use as a way to deal with their relationship. Because that way it doesn't look like one person is succumbing or submitting to the other person. They both have a mutual agreed on way of thinking and plan that they're going to use. And that for me, that's like the course. So if I'm in a relationship, like I wouldn't be in an intimate relationship with someone that my path would be something that they would constantly attack.
Right.
And feel like they're going to attack it, they couldn't respect it, they couldn't, that to me, that's just asking for trouble. But so number one, I'm going to make sure that me and my partner have a common state of mind, that me and my partner have a common purpose, instead of just going straight for the butt. So
Not straightforward.
Not straightforward. So, because usually, I know none of you all have ever been attracted to anybody because of the way their body looks. Y'all looking at me like I'm saying something. So, what? Oh, really? Y'all would be you would be attracted to somebody because of their body? Come on, y'all. Let's get real. Y'all not that holy. Ain't nobody in here that's spiritual. That at no level do they ever pay attention to the physical of anything.
The body means nothing.
Okay. The quickest way to get past it is to, like he says, take a look at it.
True.
And that's what I've been doing. I've been taking a look at it. Okay, so I can get past it. Right? That's what I say? That's right. That's why you got to recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. That's right. Don't lose your sense of humor. The Course in Miracles talk, that's how you got in hell in the first place.
That's right.
That we remember not to laugh. We don't laugh enough. We don't approach this like it's a divine game enough. We're too serious about it. So that's the first thing about it. And then the enjoyment of it comes from me not judging it as a bad feeling or emotion. That's what I mean. I'm not going to see it as something that's bad for me to feel. I'm going to use it to make me aware that it's my call for love. It's my call for God.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, then it's all about how I'm intending to use the experience.
There you go. That's right. It's how am I going to see it?
Yeah.
What is the purpose I'm going to
What
get?
am I going to use this for?
Why spend all your time fighting your feelings and emotions?
Right.
Wouldn't it be better to just reinterpret them and give them another purpose that could free you? Then I don't have to fight it all day long. And I have to go, if I'm a spiritual being, then I'm not going to get angry all day long. It's like, good luck, right? No, I'm a spiritual being. And also I can give myself what I call feelings of anger that I need to allow myself to see differently. Does that make sense to everybody? I'm sorry. I'm completely prejudiced in the direction of your innocence and your wholeness. So if you're looking to be in front of another teacher that's going to tell you that you're guilty, that you're sinful, that you're doing something bad, that you're not enough, that you're not going to be loved, and that there's no solution to what you go through, you're in the wrong freaking class. Mm-hmm. That's why it's no bigger than it is. You'd be surprised how many people I would be attracting right now if I was telling y'all are going to hell. It's obvious. Just look on TV. Right? So you tell a bunch of people they're innocent, they deserve to be loved, God is real, they are not alone, and they wonder if you're a cult leader. What am I trying to get? I'm a cult leader because I said you deserve to live your life the way you want to, making your choices. No conscious being wants to be in control of other people. That's too slow. See, I can move at my own pace right now. I can learn and grow. If I feel like I had to try to control other people to make them come with me, I would be slowing myself down. Whatever made me pop to want to learn a higher way, I trust that I'm not special. So that same force, that same God, that same spirit is in every one of you, and it will also, when your timer go off, it's going to wake you up. And then you're going to get serious about being happy. So I tell Spirit, send me the people that already know they want to move in the direction that I'm moving in, that the way I do it would be perfect for them. I don't want a hard ministry. Right. I don't want the people who fight me every minute of the way. I would much rather teach people who are trying to go in the same direction but want to save some time by possibly the support that I can give them. Since I've been studying this 40 years, it's a possibility I could save them some time if they're open to it. So that's what I'm here. I'm here to save you time, if you're open to it. But you're going to learn the same thing, but you're just going to learn it in your own way.
I think one of the core pieces of this paragraph is the recognition that it's speaking of two special relationships. It's speaking of the special hate relationship and the special love relationship, and that both of them are a distraction. So it kind of goes to what Paris was just asking, even vibratorily, right? If we're feeling vibratorily low, we're taught to use a vibratory high to distract ourselves out of that. And so we never actually process through to what is in that moment. We just choose which side of the coin we want to play with. And so we're trying to manipulate. Neither of them is love. Neither of them is reality. They're just special moments we're using to trick ourselves with.
So that gives you some idea of why we're in a holy relationship.
Right.
Right. And why we're also going to be doing a workshop together. Because I think it's important to be coming from the masculine energy and the feminine energy together, transcending both of them, because we realize we're not a man or a woman.
Yeah, amen.
You know,
And your body means nothing to me.
I know my body means nothing. I'm certain that that's true. Well, I hope to get that one day about you. So, therefore, you must play my piano. Tell me what I need to work beyond. Because I could never have a love that would say to me that I can't love you.
Oh,
See, that's my test with anybody that I get in a relationship with. You try to shut me off from anybody else, I know you don't love me. You can forget it. We're not going to be in a relationship. It ain't going to be just the opposite. You love me, so now you can't even talk to your friends. You can't even talk to... No, that's hate.
Yeah.
That is not love. I'm sorry. That's hate. Now, you can want to call it love if you want to, but that's not love according to what we learned. So I would never enter into a relationship with any woman or man that would try to limit who I am. So don't think because I'm in a relationship, you got to treat me any different than you have always treated me.
Treat him better, not worse.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I want to be a part of a new paradigm of love. I'm totally okay with everybody who wants to do it the old way. That's what they need. That is what their spiritual path requests. But I'm here to be the part of the creation of something new. I'm not on the planet to keep something going that's always been done, and I'm not on the planet to help people stay in their fear.
That's right.
You know, so you got to be edgy. You have to be willing to risk. You have to be willing to go outside of the way we've been taught, or progress would have never happened. So you got two choices when you wake up spiritually and begin to recognize you create your reality. You can either try to have a better, more comfortable, ordinary life, and you're innocent for doing that. Or you can say, universe, I want to be the part of something new. I want to be a part of something that's being created that's never been seen before. You know, and that's what Carl and I do. It's like, we want to be a part of the next level of whatever evolutionary relationship and love is.
Yes, exactly.
Whatever that means. And we're
Real
willing
love.
to change the form of our relationship at any point in time to keep the relationship peaceful. See, that's another thing people don't understand. Being in a real relationship means you might change the form of it. You may go into what it looks like, we are boyfriend, girlfriend, mate, or you might go, that doesn't work, maybe we need to just be friends right now. Or it might be intimate. No, maybe not. You will change it as it needs to be changed in order to maintain the relationship, because that's what's real. That's not the form that you're acting it out in.
That's right.
I would never want to be with somebody that just because we broke up, now I can't have lunch with them, I can't talk to them, I can't still want the best for them, and I got to avoid them like the plague, then get in a relationship with somebody else, and they telling me I better not have a conversation with my ex. You just X yourself out.
Right.
When you said X, we talking about you.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, you the X.
Yep.
Because nobody that loves me would ever tell me to turn my back on somebody that loves me.
Love is inclusive.
I want more people to love her. I tell her every day. I encourage you to have many loving friendships, connections with as many men or women as possible that you feel safe with, because that's what love does. That's what these books are teaching us. At what point do we start living this stuff instead of talking it?
Hallelujah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to join and connect with people who know they have these issues, know they have some fears. We all do, but they say, but I don't want to be limited by them. I want to go to the next level, not people that are trying to justify their fear. And that's what this is saying to us right now. So anybody that knows me knows they should never be afraid to extend to me, that they would never stop extending to me for any reason. That just means you don't know me and you haven't been hearing anything I've been saying in any of these classes. If you were to change the way you treat me because you think I'm in a relationship. That's not what this is about. I want to be a living embodiment of divine love on this planet, because according to what I've learned, you are me, I am you, we are one, we are connected. So what I give to you, I give to myself. Now I listen to everybody I'm around and see how much separation they want to play with me in order to feel safe. So I'm always listening to people. Okay, you want to pretend I'm a you and you're opposite to me and we're not really one, and you got, okay, then I'm going to respect every little boundary I hear you saying. I'll play the game at whatever level make you feel safe. But I'm looking for those beings who look at me dead in the eye and go, you know what? I'm looking in my eyes. There's just one of us here. Now that's where the fun begins. But I'll meet you where you are because you're me. And I don't want to frighten any part of myself because that prevents the joining. Does any of this make sense? Yeah. It makes too much sense. So I want y'all to properly forget. so I want y'all to properly forget most of what I've said today when you leave here. And you won't even remember you came to my class later on. You go, what did he say? And a lot of times people invite people to my classes and they'll go, well, what did he talk about? Well, I don't know, you just need to come. That's the best they can do. They just go, you just need to come. I can't explain this. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I want the love. I want the heart energy. The intellect is, So anyway, I want to try to get one more little paragraph at least. You can do it. Can we do it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, God, that feels so good to say. And so that's just a little smidgen of the things that we'll be talking about when we do the Share the Love. Because we're not going to be just talking, this is going to be intellectual. We're going to come with real things that you can do to transform.
Exactly.
It's not going to be just listening to somebody
all
lecture.
Relationships, not just romantic.
And all relationships, not just romantic relationships. We talk about all types of relationships, and the new paradigm of relationship that we want to introduce, that we want to be a channel for being a medium of in the world.
Awesome.
Yeah, the Spirit has really been talking to us and CJ and I channel together. And so we let Spirit talk to us and give us curriculums about what to do. And we've been getting some great stuff. So it's also going to be available for people to be able to do it online, also, those of you. And also, my email is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. Make sure that you let me know that you're interested. You can go to my website, sign up for the contact list so I can let you know. But it's going to be May 12th for sure. That's the concrete date. It's May 12th. And I know the perfect people to be there. I'm not concerned about numbers because I'm sustained by the love of God. Yeah. So I don't worry about those things anymore, about whether or not I'm going to be taken care of, about what I do. Shoot, I've been doing this weird stuff for 30 years, and I've been taken care of. If it haven't happened by now, if the Spirit haven't bailed by now, I don't pretty much feel, I got a $30 body shop bill. Don't tell me nothing about God. You know what I'm saying? I know God is real. It's funny. I told her, they said, you're an angel. You're an angel. I love to be wrong. I love to be wrong. Oh, God, so love to be wrong. So the Course in Miracles says, the symbols of hate against the symbols of love play out a conflict that doesn't exist. Symbols stand for something else. And the symbol for love is without meaning. Why? Because love is everything. There's no symbol for everything. If I say I love you, I'm saying I everything you. What? I everything you. You ever anybody everything you? Yeah. And then it says, you will go through this last undoing quite unharmed, and will at last do what? Emerge as yourself. This is the last step in the readiness for God. What's the last step in the readiness for God? The last step in the readiness for God is your willingness to look at how you feel honestly. It says, be not unwilling now. You are too near, and you will cross the bridge in perfect safety. What does that mean? Whenever you read in the Course, just go, what does that mean? And keep reading. It means you're going to be translated quietly from war to peace. You're going to gradually see your life quietly translated from conflict to peace. I was working with somebody in the clarity session just yesterday, and they were saying, I cannot believe the changes that I've had in my experience since we started working together. How it just gradually changed from conflict to peace. There's so much guidance available to open-minded people. It's so much guidance available to open-minded people. And the Course says, now check this out. For the illusion of love will never satisfy. So how do you know when you're in an illusion of love? How do you know when you are in an illusion of love with somebody? I'm going to answer you in just a minute. Well, how do you know when you're in an illusion of love with somebody? You don't feel any satisfaction. So how do most people deal with it when they don't feel satisfaction in a relationship? They say, if you were different, I'd be happy. That's the error that most people make. As soon as they're not satisfied, then they immediately begin to focus on trying to get that person to be different in some way in order for them to be satisfied. And they use their own mind to come up with as many ways as possible to tell you that you need to change. So they're not using their mind to come up with how they need to change. They're using their mind to come up with how you need to change. And the Course in Miracles says what you should be doing is asking your higher power of God, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? Who do you want me to say it with? He says, focus on those questions instead of focusing on how you think the other person needs to change in order for you to be happy. What was your question, darling?
Oh, I was going to say illusion love is when it's separate and personal, and it's not as tasteful, it's not as wholesome. But when you know love is the substance of all creation beneath form, then it's really true and unconditional, and there's not much conflict at all.
That's exactly right. The transition from war to peace, from conflict to peace. Yeah, that's exactly right. See, first we have to get the idea in our mind about what it is. So the Course says you come to recognize what love is by recognizing what it's not. So then it goes, it is not fear. It is not guilt. It is not attack. It is not grievances. It is not jealousy. That's what it's not. Because I used to say, I must love you so much because I'm feeling so guilty. And because I'm feeling so fearful. And because I'm feeling so jealous. No, what I'm feeling is fear.
That's right.
And fear is always based on some sense that I'm going to lose something.
And it can be undone.
It can be totally undone. And that's what this is about. It's about undoing the blocks. Like if you've ever seen a building demolished, it might have taken months to build that building, but how long does it take to demolish one? If you put that's right. If you put the charges at the right place, then the whole building collapses in seconds. This is your fear dynamite, and it comes in many forms. There are very strategic ideas in here that if you will use, it will undo the fear and the guilt and the anger much faster than it took you to build it up or to create it for yourself. Yes.
So if you're in a relationship with somebody outside of a romantic relationship and they keep coming at you with the fear, the conditions, what I can't balance is if I just what I'd like to do is just step away, and every time I ask, what should I do? It's just like, go away. But then is that not being in your truth around love? Like that's where I get conflicted. So the message I feel I get is, if somebody keeps coming at you in fear and conditions and all the things you lack as a human, and that's not true, that's not right, is it okay just to say, sorry you're feeling that way and I gotta go?
Yeah, sorry you feel that way, I gotta go. And internally, I'm giving you the Spirit, I'm giving you the Holy Spirit, I'm giving you the God. I didn't create you. And if there's any way that I can be used, I'm willing to be used. But I'll know if Spirit is asking me to do something because I won't experience it as a sacrifice and I won't experience it as any kind of resentment. And it's not, you see what I'm saying? So It's not like you're not going to be helped unless I'm the one that does it. Right? So,
it'll work.
Yes, that's right. Especially if you're finding that that person is making you aware of something that you need to look at in yourself if you're feeling any kind of irritation, right? So since I now know I have something to look at in myself, thank you for making me be aware of that, and I'll see you later. Because you did your job. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Now, if you were willing to join with me on overcoming this together in a peaceful, loving way, then I'd be open to us doing this together. But if you're insisting on maintaining your old point of view, even though we're seeing this is coming up, then I'm going to have to release you to do that. One of my favorite lines in the Course in Miracles is, and you think about this, it says, we want the Creator or the higher power to handle our problems. right?
That's right.
People are always going, I'm going to go to God, I'm going to pray, I'm going to go to Spirit, right? Then why don't you do that with everybody else's stuff? Why do you feel like it's okay to give your stuff to God, but then you got to solve everybody else's stuff? Why don't you do the same thing with their stuff if you really love them that you're doing with your stuff? Because how could you love them and you're the one that want to solve their problem? That means you don't.
Yeah.
Because you know how lousy you are at that? That's what you do with somebody you don't like. Let me help you. I'd be glad to help you. No, if I really wanted the issue solved, I'd give it up to Spirit. But that would presuppose you think there really is Spirit. So that's why it would be an alarming answer to people who don't have faith in God. Because to them it sounds like I said, don't do anything. Right?
Yeah.
But what you do is you go, Spirit, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What do you want me to do? That's the first thing you do. And then you know the answer would be something you could do now and something you would feel peaceful about doing. That's how you know. It's just that simple. And if you're not feeling that way, then you know it's something that you need to have healed in you that needs to be looked at. And you give both of y'all to God. You give both of y'all to Spirit. The truth is simple. It is not complex. The fear-based mind makes everything complex. So that's why I know you love yourselves. Because you love yourself so much, you let yourself come to a class where someone is expressing unconditional love and allowing you to have it easier and not condemned to tell you that you're sinless and you're guiltless. Would you acknowledge yourself for hearing this much, Holy Spirit? Woo! Happy resurrection. Happy resurrection. All right, so I'm going to do a quick recap, and there's something I want to share with you as a closing little gift before we go out into the dream world, into the lab, I'm a full-time teacher. Thank you for coming to my class. We're going to do the financial expression of appreciation for those who'd like to share. I don't charge any kind of a set fee for my classes because I want people to come to my classes, be able to come to my classes regardless of their financial situation. But it doesn't mean I don't want no money. Okay. I eat and have rent and everything like y'all do. And God helps us through us. It all comes through us, to us. We are God. We are a part of that. So I want to thank you. Those of you online, if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, go to earlpurdy.com and you can do it on my website. I'm also available for what I call clarity sessions, and I've been having some incredible clarity sessions. And what I do is take these 40 years of working with people and bring them to your situation and show you other ways that you can look at it that will work if you use it. I also have been an astrologer and a numerologist for years. Those of you who haven't studied it, then I would ask you to let go of judgment of it because you really don't know what it is. Okay. And it is not what you see in the comic papers. And it is not someone as a fortune teller. It's a blueprint of the intentions of your soul when you came here. You did not come here without a plan. You did not come here without lessons to learn. You did not come here without talents and gifts and a way to flow through this experience and to learn lessons in love. Astrology and numerology, they are a language for your higher self to talk to you through, just like the Course in Miracles is. You can save yourself a lot of time if you have a session with me, and you'll find that there are answers available to you right now for you to use. You don't have to make this up as you go along. You weren't just dropped here and then you go, okay, you're on your own. That wasn't the way it happened. This is much deeper than what it appears to be. This is nothing like what we are in Earth School. If you were to imagine that you went off to college, that's what being born is. And you came into this reality to learn lessons in love and how to remove blocks to love and to learn what true happiness really is. There are appointments that you've made with certain people to learn certain lessons together. You know who these people are because you hate them. Okay. And you know who these people are because you love them. They will be impacting you, in other words. So every relationship that you have, is part of your plan. You're not a victim of anything. You're guiltless. You're sinless. So I'm available for one-on-one sessions. and take advantage of it. If you want to find more about it, go to my website, earlpurdy.com. There are hundreds of videos of my classes on my website that you can listen to for free. Also, I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube that you can watch. So money is not an excuse. No access to another way to look at it is not an excuse. We don't have any excuses. You ask, Spirit is answering you. And if you don't resonate to me, there's somebody you will resonate with. You know, I'll come to you through some more bodies. It's just one of us here. That's what I love about this. I know I'll always be loved. I don't worry about if I'll ever have relationships with somebody. I care, so I know I'll be careful. I'm loving, so I know I'll be loved.
Right.
I don't worry about that, you know. And you won't have to either when you start loving yourself. So I want to be a witness to how much you deserve love. That, and you know what happened to Jesus when he did that. But I'm hoping that won't happen to me. I think I'll pass on the crucifixion part of the teaching learning experience. I've already been through the crucifixion, and you have too.
That's right.
You've all been through situations of pain or where it looks like you were treated unjustly and unfairly when you only were trying to give love. That's the part of you that's afraid of love showing up in the form of people who seem like they don't love you. But there are more people that want to love you than you could ever get around to. That's right. This is easy. What? Easy. Easy. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. Those of you online, thank you so much for your comments and the interactions that you've been doing. And oh yeah, one more thing. I do 3 classes, all of them on Facebook Live. I do one Tuesday night class called The Way of Mastery at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Another class called Hardcore Course in Miracles. It's for Course in Miracles students who are studying the Course in Miracles. Okay, so it's really like me getting in it at a level that's not about analyzing it. It's about, I want to hear it, I want to do it. Not, I don't know if I want to do this, I don't need to analyze it, and I need to figure it out. Because you can't practice something you've never heard.
That's right.
So that is about, let me be a means of you seeing what this material is actually saying to us to do. And then we do it right then. And then Sundays we have this Course in Miracles class, which is awesome. And you can watch any of them. But I just want to let you know that 7 o'clock Thursdays, Mountain Standard Time, 1 o'clock Sundays, Mountain Standard Time. You don't have to be a member of Facebook to watch my live broadcast. So if there are people you want to refer, then just send them to www.facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live. Earl Purdy Live. And follow this page on the Earl Purdy page. All right? Real simple to remember. Earl Purdy page. Literally. That's what it's called. Earl Purdy page. Okay? So you can go, you can check it out. I love hugs. So after class, hugs are available. I just think it's great to make contact with each, to use our bodies as a means of love and communication. You know, when are we going to practice again? When are we going to take this from the level of the intellect? And I know it's a little scary, but actually reach out to each other. Yes, darling, get your hand up one more time.
You were saying the process isn't hard at all, like it's easy. I was going to comment that we're already there. It's not, we're already at the destination. We're the eternal love. All of a sudden, we got conceived into a baby body, human form inside a woman's uterus. And then now we're growing, and then we got called Kyla, whatever our name is, told that we're a human being. We got so used to this life, but today is the day of rebirth, and we have to be in awe of everything around us and our limbs, like whatever
Thank you. That's so refreshing. So refreshing to hear what you're saying. Anybody else got something they want to say?
I love you.
You love me? I love you too. Absolutely. I love you too. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Okay, I got. Okay, so I got this. This is dedicated to you, going out to the new rebirth. Here you go. My brother John Christmas at johnChristmas.com. It was, as a matter of fact, it was John Christmas's granddaughter.
Oh, wow.
that made the transition, and her husband. Yeah, that's my buddy. Here we go. And moving your head and other parts of your body is allowed. Don't be afraid to look at the special relationship, because your freedom lies in looking at it. It's impossible not to know the truth and the meaning of love, except for the bargains that we make in special relationships. Don't form relationships to hide how you feel from yourself so that you can be healed. And listen, you are sinless, you are sinless, you are a child of God. Look at somebody. You are sinless, you are sinless, love you as you are. Yeah. Your invulnerability was your father's guarantee that you would forever be completely free. Completely free. Woo! You are guiltless, you are guiltless, you are a child of God. You are guiltless, you are guiltless, love you as you are. Woo! Your invulnerability was your father's guarantee that you would forever completely free. Completely. I love this line. It goes, but you keep on singing the blues. But you keep on singing. Singing what? But you keep on singing the blues. Yeah. When you gonna stop singing? 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 To learn you got nothing to lose. Woo! You got to realize that it's important for you not to hide your feelings. All your feelings are innocent. All your feelings are innocent. This is the last step in your readiness for God in love. Don't follow the path of avoidance. Let somebody play you. Get played. You're sinless. You are sinless. You are a child of God. Look at somebody. You are sinless. You are sinless. Love you as you are. Woo! Your invulnerability was your father's guarantee that you would forever be completely free. Completely free. Woo! But you keep on singing. Oh, but you keep on singing. Oh, you keep on singing the blues. Oh, poor me. Nobody can love me. I'm screwed up. It's that you keep on singing. It's time for you what? It's time for you to stop singing. It's time for you to learn you have nothing to lose. Woo! It's time for you to be translated. You're going to cross the bridge. You're going to cross the bridge in perfect safety. You're going to be translated from war to peace. You're going to be translated from conflict to peace. I am ready for love. What? I am ready for love. I say what? I am ready for love. I say when? Right now. But you keep on singing. That's what you do. You keep on singing. Singing what? Keep on singing the blues. Are you going to let go of the blues? Are you going to stop being a downer? Huh? Feel all your feelings. If you're angry, if you're upset, if you feel jealous, if you feel insecure, it's just your call for love. It's your call for God. You are entitled to miracles. I am entitled to miracles. Claim it. I am entitled to miracles. Say what? I am entitled little bit louder. I am entitled to miracles. I am entitled to miracles. What are we? We are entitled to miracles. We are entitled to miracles. Oh yeah. Ooh. Yeah, can we give it up to us? We're so damn cool. We're so cool. We're so cool. We're so cool. Well, mighty companions, thank you for showing up here today. You're getting ready to go out into the lab. And I want to say to you, the hugs are available. Y'all know what I'm going to say. May the course be with you. I love y'all. See y'all next time. You're awesome. Yay! For us. Keep on singing the blues.
Nice to meet you, Lisa.